Okay. D, wake up. D, it's a new episode of, where are we? The History Shelf. D, this for you. Okay, handing back the mic.
All right. Hey, BookTube, welcome to a Friday Reads. We're going to try this. We don't have the dual mic capability yet. We need a splitter.
But we did try.
People. We are trying to get a mic on Martine. So if any of you techies out there happen to know, I'm messing with this, happen to know how to hook up two mics.
No, it's not that.
It's not that?
It's not that easy.
It's not that easy.
It's not easy being green or mic'd.
Or cheesy.
Oh, it's easy being cheesy.
This is a Friday Reads kind of where I'm talking about...
Tornadoes?
Well, we had a tornado warning in Westminster yesterday. Did I say I am Peg and welcome to the History Shelf?
We know
I think
who you are.
Well,
come on.
The History Shelf. It's been a while since my last video. There's her hand. Anyway, guys, you know what? It's crazy because I have a stack of books here that I want to show you. Some I've already read and written reviews for, but they haven't been published yet. And when they do, I will share them with you, but I will at least show you what's out there in case anything is of interest to you.
So let me interview you for a second. Now, Peggy is Miss Cool and Collected in the face of tornadoes. I turned into a big girl yesterday, and I was like, should we go now? Should we go now? Should we go now? And Peggy was basically like, unless you can see it, which wasn't very helpful.
Yeah, she's never really been in a position of being in a tornado warning, even though you've lived in, well, I guess Oregon and California don't really have that. But obviously Ireland originally, they don't have tornadoes in Ireland.
We don't. We have sensible weather like rain.
She was like, what do we do? I've never been in this position.
What's the plan,
and
Peggy?
I was like, I don't know. I'm going to go upstairs and work a little. And I went, we had hail. It was hailing. I went outside to check the vehicles. They were fine.
Yeah, she checked the vehicle. She didn't check the woman that she wants to spend the rest of her life with. She's like...
Neither sleet, nor rain, nor snow.
Possibly tornado.
No. Well, we're going to buy a house with a basement this time. Well, no, we would go to the lowest interior room, which would be that little tiny-ass bathroom with 3 dogs. I'm like, it's not time to go in there yet.
Gas us out, and we'd be like, I'm taking my chances. I can't do it anymore.
You have some gassy dogs. So, I was going to show you some of the books I've been reading lately. I'll probably make a video this weekend showing you the new books that have arrived at the History Shelf. But I guess I wanted to give you a sense of just how busy I've been reading and how much is still due. I took on a little bit way too much for this particular 2-month stretch. I thought I could do everything. Apparently Peggy cannot say no in certain instances when it comes to books.
And what song did I play for you?
What song did you play for me, hon?
From the Oklahoma soundtrack, I'm Just a Girl Who Can't Say No.
I can't say no, but so as a result of that,
you can say no to other things.
I still have a list of due dates. Recent books I finished. Let me go to the cover page. So I recently finished. I wrote a review on this. Ooh, this is Bret Baier's.
And that's the one that
To Rescue the Republic. Ulysses S. Grant.
That Bill just wrote, reviewed.
Well, he's reading it. The Fragile Union.
No, he finished.
In the Crisis of 1876.
He said it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, he did finish it. You're right. He did finish it. I gave him the print copy of this. I had read it on here first. So, sorry for the glare. I hate showing these ebooks. It's a nice
cover. I like the...
Well, I love Grant. I love him. He's a handsome man.
Well, yeah, but the cover...
The cover is very nice.
Darling. It's lovely.
The cover's lovely. The nice color tone scheme. So I've reviewed that for another publication, so I'm not really going to go into my review on that, but I like to get my hands on anything that has to do with Grant, and
that's true.
So the only thing I'll say, it's more of an introductory, Oh, okay. I mean, if you're not really new to Grant, then this might be a nice starter for you, but if you want some Grant recommendations from me, just hit me up in the comments below.
But at this point,
He is.
I would have to imagine you're pretty hard to please on Grant.
Am I hard to please on Grant?
Yeah. And I would say Bill's probably in the same boat.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Bill has a very discerning opinion. That's
Because
Bill at the
nobody else
Rutenberg
is-
Library.
It's not like there's going to be an expose and you find out massive new things about him.
No.
It's kind of depressing.
No. It's not depressing. It's just, yeah, you know, I never get tired reading about Grant, and it was a decent introduction. Leave it there.
Introductory.
Yeah, so this book I finished, oh my goodness, and wrote a review which will come out hopefully soon in Shelf Awareness, and I can share that review link when it's available. Maybe my next video, I'll put it down, I'll link it in the comments. If you're interested in my review, I will share it with you guys. Oh, I should have said the Grant book is not out yet, but I think it's coming out in October. I think October 12th. This book is coming out at the end of this month. I think it's August 31st. This is probably going to be a bombshell.
Really?
Well, not a bombshell so much as it's going to be a bestseller. This is the Afghanistan Papers, A Secret History of the War by Craig Whitlock and the Washington Post. So Craig Whitlock was a writer for the Post, and you know, they had sued under the Freedom of Information Act to get certain interviews and documents that the government wasn't willing to withhold, but they won the suit and they got the documents. Anyway, I will have a review coming out on this book, and it's an eye opener, and it's infuriating. Yeah.
So
Happy times. It's not. Look, I'll share the review. I can't really. It's already someone else's. Yeah. Okay. So that was the ones under Kindle that I read. Let me see my PDFs here. I've been reading a variety of things, guys. I do history, but I also have, I do fiction, historical fiction, and I do some mystery thrillers. I finished one recently, and I'll have a review coming out soon in Library Journal, I think, for a book called Nanny Dearest.
that's terrifying.
Was
it terrifying?
Makes you think twice about getting a nanny.
Or having a grandmother.
What do you, nanny, Nana, dearest.
Yeah, my grandmother was pretty terrifying. I mean, that's, you know.
So, finish reading this, True Raiders. The untold story of the 1909 expedition to find the legendary Ark of the Covenant.
Did they
by
find
Brad Rika. Listen. If they had, you would have known.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
They didn't.
All right, guys. So I have a review coming out in Shelf Awareness soon on this one as well. This one comes out September 21st. So next month. But did not know about this. There was an expedition in 1909, and it was kind of secretive and a little controversial. But may have been the real inspiration for Raiders of the Lost Ark, because, you know, someone heard about this and they passed the story on to someone else, and someone else passed the story on until a young George Lucas heard about it.
Steven Spielberg.
And yeah, Steven Spielberg. Well, George Lucas, maybe he shared it with him. But anyway, got a review coming out on this if you're interested.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it because in Raiders of the Lost Ark, it was the Nazis who found the Ark. So I call bunk.
Okay. Next book. This was a pretty fast read, but wow, was it powerful. Beirut 2020, The Diary of the Collapse by Sharif Majdalani. Little thing. This comes out. This is an August title. It's out right now. It came out August 3rd. I do have the finished copy. Where did I wanted to keep it because this was pretty powerful stuff. And anyway, I do have a review coming out as well, and I will share links when that becomes available if anyone's interested. But yeah, I'm not reading the descriptions on these just because I have a lot of books to show you. But this was one man's he started up a journal during the economic crisis. You know, Lebanon was really struggling, and then as he's writing this, the massive explosion at the port of Beirut happened. I mean, and the country was already struggling. So, I mean, this is very interesting. And you know, I have a lot of books that highlight different countries in the Middle East and the Levant, and I really would like a book on Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for a really good history on Lebanon and Beirut, which Beirut used to be like a glitzy Paris of the Mediterranean or whatever they called it. Yeah, it's really fallen into really hard times. But this was a book I've finished recently, and I've also written for another book I just recently finished and just wrote a review for. I Was a French Muslim, Memories of an Algerian Freedom Fighter by Mokhtar Moktefi. It's translated from the French by his wife and his widow, Elaine Moktefi. He died in 2015. But he wrote this memoir of his time fighting in the National Liberation Army, which was the armed unit of the National Liberation Front of Algeria during the Algerian War for Independence, which was from 1954 to 1962. You know, they were under French colonization. So this one was beefy. It was a good 400 pages, but eye-opener, and I like reading memoirs of people who have been living through interesting times, and so, you know, this is another book I've written reviews for, and, you know, nothing's out yet, but stay tuned. This one is actually going to come out, again, September 21st.
Did you like it?
Why? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, because I've written a review. Stay tuned for the review. I'll tell her in private. Okay, what else? Currently reading and almost finished with, and this is a printed galley, so it's not even, I'm sure some of you have seen it on NetGalley with the actual cover, and if I had the cover, and if I knew how to put them into a video, and like place it in the upper left-hand corner, I don't know how to do it, hon. I don't know what software you need to do that. Bill Rutenberg knows how to do it.
I know he does, because he's got Adobe Premiere.
Like, oh, is that what he has?
Yeah.
Bill, is that what you have Adobe Premiere?
Yeah.
Well, shoot.
We have Adobe Premiere.
Oh.
That's what I used. Do you want me to do?
Can you do this? Yeah. Can you do this, honey?
Yeah, I've got nothing better to do on Friday night.
Well, we'll see. All right. Anyway, this, all I can say is I'm really enjoying this right now.
Is this the book?
What do you mean, is this the book? No, this is not.
Oh, okay.
This is The Gallery of Miracles and Madness.
This looks fascinating.
By Charlie English. And the subtitle is Insanity, Modernism, and Hitler's War on Art.
Yeah.
I've got 60 pages left. I plan on finishing that tonight. I'm going to be writing up a review and an article on Dadaist art. Dada. Well, when you say, is it Dadaist or Dadaist? But when you add IST onto the end, is it Dada or Dadaist? Okay, listen. Dada. You say Dada, I say Dada.
Just say Gaga.
Lady Gaga. So, but I'm doing a little research report on Dada. Sorry. Well, how do you say it again?
Dada.
Dada. The Dada art movement.
It's like the baby. Dada.
Yeah. Dada. So I'm reading that right now. And definitely want to get my hands on a finished copy because I
see the writing in the margins and everything.
Oh, I'm writing in the margins, baby.
Yeah.
I'm writing. I'm underlining. I'm marking. I'm marking. I'm putting notes in. Doing my homework.
You are putting in work.
So this review will be for BookBrowse review, which is one of my.
That looks like a great book.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating topic.
Yeah, totally. God,
Hitler was just a bastard all around, wasn't he? He really was.
Say this again for the kids at home.
Pick a topic. He was just a complete dick.
Oh, well, I didn't know you were going to say that word.
There you go. He's like,
okay.
Let me find something else to just hate on and try to kill. Let me just do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he spent his Friday nights trying to do.
That's true.
Yeah.
He was torturing animals or something like that. I don't know, before he grew up.
Hitler's War on Beetles.
Okay, so in the next book, I need to start really quickly. This sounds fascinating and right up my alley. I don't have the cover artwork, but if we can find it, maybe Martine can put it in. And if she does,
because
she'll put it right here.
God bless.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is called The Vanishing. Faith, Loss, and the Twilight of Christianity in the Land of the Prophets by Janine Di Giovanni. It's coming out from Public Affairs Books. And this is coming out on September 5th. No, that's when my review is due. I'm getting my review due dates and the publishing dates. This comes out on October 5th.
Okay.
And we try to cover these things a month ahead, or just to get it into the queue so that when it does come out, the review is ready to go.
Yeah.
Reviewing this for shelf awareness, and I'm very excited. Sounds right up my alley. I don't have the pub sheet right now. I just have the PDF of it.
Over here.
But it's just a kind of nonfiction, and it's a history of just the disappearance of a lot of the Christian communities. I'm thinking particularly in Iraq, and whatever is left in Afghanistan right now is nothing. There's going to be nothing left soon. I know the Afghanistan pastors are asking for prayer, and I just...
They need prayer and a plane ticket is what they need.
Well, that, and they need them... They need the American military to come back 30,000 strong and say we're going to get all of our people out and the people who helped us, because that's the right thing to do, right? I'm going to be starting this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. Again, the book is The Vanishing, Faith Lost in the Twilight of Christianity in the Land of the Prophets by Janine DiGiovanni. Public Affairs Books, and it's coming out in early October. Like I said, I overdid it, and I will never do this again.
Yes, you will. Everybody, yes, you will. Let's mark this date and time, and then remember.
I forgot. At first, I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. This is all that's left for the month.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, shit, I forgot the stick behind me. And I just swore. That's how a little bit stressed out I am right now. If any of these sound interesting.
Is the Vital Rival in here anywhere?
Oh, honey, I forgot that one. It's almost 700 pages. But what is it called? I'm so excited to read this, you guys. I didn't even know this book was coming. Oh... And I think Bill will be very happy about this. It's not exactly about Lincoln, but it has Lincoln in it. But this is about... This guy's always interested me. This is about Salmon P Chase. This is a new biography on Salmon P Chase with a subtitle. And then I'm going to hand the mic over to Martine.
Yeah.
Salmon P Chase, Lincoln's Vital Rival by Walter Starr, who also wrote the book on. Here she goes. Bye-bye.
Okay, so you guys, are there any pub quiz aficionados out there? Our pub quiz name used to be the Rural Jurors, and that was taken squarely from, well, first off, it was to piss off the people who were emceeing the event that night, even though they were friends of ours. But also, it was taken directly from 30 Rock and Jenna Malone's Rural Juror, and nobody understood what the hell she was saying. So now, so the explanation for those who are not aware in 30 Rock was that the writers were on crack. Now, who came up with this subtitle?
Walter Starr, apparently.
Walter, we got to talk, man.
Yes. Well, thank you for reminding me. I couldn't believe I would have almost forgotten one of the massive works I'm about to review. All right, well, we're moving on. So anyway, I need to start the Salmon P Chase biography.
Vital Rival.
Vital Rival, Rural Juror.
Urban Fervor.
I can't. Urban. So yeah, that was the one that she wanted to opine about.
And complain, because that's awful.
That's...
No. When Peggy does a full review of that, I will doctor the thumbnail so that it says Rural Juror instead of Vital Rival.
Well, he did become the Supreme Court Chief Justice.
So that's perfect. Then there you go. Was he from the country at all? Was he?
I'm sure he. In this time and place, everyone was from the country originally.
There you go. So now you got Abraham Lincoln and the salmon guy and Rural Jurors.
The salmon guy.
Yeah.
But look, this is a brand new book, Michael Knox Barron's Wasps. Yeah. The splendors, not the insect, the splendors and miseries of an American aristocracy. Now, I will read you.
Called Beetles.
Okay. I will read you. I will hold this up because I have a pub sheet here for you. This book, I think, is already, well, this is already out because I think this is a finished copy. And yeah, it's already out. You ready for this, hon?
Sure. Wasps, they sting. They are loud, buzzing insects. They fly, they sting. They're generally bad-tempered.
Well, this might apply to these people. So it's. Oh, let me get this in the frame here. I like the cover. It's kind of different. So Envied and lampooned, misunderstood, and yet distinctly American, wasps are as much a culture, socioeconomic, and ethnic designation and state of mind. In this book, we are treated to examination of wasp culture through the lives of some of its most important figures. So, it says charming, witty, and vigorously researched. Wasps traces the rise and fall of this distinctly American phenomenon through the lives of prominent icons from Henry Adams to Theodore Roosevelt, from George Santayana to John J. Chapman, from Babe Paley to Edie Sedgwick.
Edie Sedgwick?
Isn't she the musician from the 90s? Edie and the New Bohemian? No, sorry.
No, honey. Edie Sedgwick killed herself. She was from the 60s.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Moving on. Throughout this dynamic story, Barron chronicles the efforts of wasps to use their position to better the world around them, as well as the struggles of these wasps to break free from their restrictive culture. The death of George H.W. Bush brought about reflections on the end of patrician wasp culture, where privilege reigned, but so did a genuine desire to use that privilege for public service. All right, so it says here, as we examine the post-Trump era, many turn to figures like John Kerry, Bobby Kennedy, and Philip and Kay Graham with wistful nostalgia. And even though we are a more diverse and pluralistic nation, now than ever before, there is something about wasp culture that remains fascinating, alluring, and at times troubling. Yeah, so I really wanted to read this, but it's a big book. So this is about 450 pages. I'm going to get started on this one this weekend, along with The Vanishing, which is on my Kindle. And then another one I need to start for another place. Okay, so the next book I got from Historical Novel Society for the Historical Novels Review. This is called The House of Ashes by Stuart Neville. Sarah Keene's husband, Damien. Oh, that's right there.
That's not a good sign. Right,
has uprooted them from England and moved them to his native... Oh, and this is why I picked the book out. I think this is why I wanted to read it. I'm always trying to get closer to you, honey. Here, let me read this. Has uprooted them from England and moved them to his native Northern Ireland for a fresh start in the wake of her nervous breakdown.
Yeah, right. Okay, let me take over. So then, then he's recognized as being the Antichrist, and the house is burnt down. There. See, now you don't have to review it, babe. House of Ashes.
What else do you need to know?
There you go. Where were
She's
we?
all mine. No, you can't have her. She's all mine. Hands are full.
Oh, baby.
All right. So he's moving her there for a fresh start. She had a nervous breakdown. That's unfortunate.
Because she found the 666 inscribed in the scalp.
She found legs and eyes of newt in the bottom of his dresser drawer.
Feet are weird shaped. Has anybody ever said that to you?
Why do you have cloven toes?
Baby, they need to be shaved. They're shredding the bedding.
Shredding? The sequel to this will be Shredding the Bedding.
No, the sequel to Vital Rival will be Shredding the Bedding.
Oh my God, I'm losing my mind.
Shred the bed.
Shredding the Bedding. So Sarah, getting back to brass tacks here. Sarah, who knows no one in Northern Ireland, is jobless, carless, friendless, all but a prisoner in her own house. When a blood-soaked old woman beats on the door, insisting the house is hers before being bundled back to her care facility, Sarah begins to understand the house has a terrible history her husband never intended for her to discover. That's SOB.
Because he's clearly a bastard, and he's the Antichrist.
He's going to be the number one suspect on my list.
Right.
As the two women form a bond over their shared traumas. I don't know, sauna. Sarah finds the strength to stand up to her abuser, and tells you right there who her abuser is.
The old woman.
No, him.
I think it was the old woman.
No. Okay, it says here.
I'm always messing with you. And
she's always messing with me, and I'm always taking the bait. Sarah finds the strength to stand up to her abuser, and Mary, which is apparently the old woman, silent for 6 decades, is finally ready to tell her story. Through the counterpoint voices, one modern Englishwoman, one Northern Irish farm girl speaking from a half a century earlier. Okay, Stuart Neville offers a chilling and gorgeous portrait of violence and resilience.
Great.
In this truly haunting narrative. So I don't know how this fits under the historical novel rubric, but whatever. I kind of like little thrillers, and and it's set in Northern Ireland, and I'm always trying to learn. So I actually started reading this next novel. This is definitely historical fiction, and I'm already really liking it. But it's a big mamma jamma. It's 500 pages, and so I'm planning on cranking on this one this week. This weekend.
Wait a second. For those keeping track now, that's 27 books that she's planning on cranking on this week. Okay, carry on.
The House of Ashes is coming out. Oh, and this is put out by Soho Crime. Okay. This comes out in September. It doesn't give the exact date, and I don't have the pub sheet, but wait, here it is. September 7th. And if you guys are Stuart Neville fans, House of Ashes is coming out early next month. You have a book one of his works to look forward to. If fans of Sandra Brown, I have never read Sandra Brown. She's written tons of different books. Sandra Brown's novel, it's called Blind Tiger, and it's set in the time of Prohibition, which is pretty cool. I like it. I haven't read a novel set back in the 1920s in a while, so nice big chunkster of a book. Yeah, this came out August 3rd. So it says here, the year 1920 comes in with a roar in this rousing and suspenseful novel by best-selling author Sandra Brown. Prohibition is the new law of the land, but murder, mayhem, lust, and greed are already institutions in the moonshine capital of Texas. So it's going to be like the moonshine runners and stuff. I've started reading it, and her prose is, she just pulled me right in.
Really? Yeah?
Yeah, this was like a really kind of like a nice... I picked this book up after reading the Beirut collapse book, after reading some heavy shite.
Yeah.
And I got pulled into a make-believe story, and it was wonderful, and I kind of really was getting into it, and so I'm going to continue doing that this weekend. So it says here, Thatcher Hutton, a war-weary soldier on the way back to his cowboy life, jumps from a moving freight train to avoid trouble and lands in more than he bargained for. For those of you who didn't hear. I don't even know if I can say.
No.
She said, okay, he landed in poop. Okay. On the day he arrives in Foley, Texas, a local woman goes missing. Thatcher, the only stranger in town. I expect you have a problem with his first name, honey.
What lovely parents he had.
Thatcher, the only stranger in town, is suspected of her abduction, and worse. Standing between him and exoneration are a corrupt mayor, a crooked sheriff, a notorious cat-house madam, a sly bootlegger, feuding moonshiners, and a young widow whose soft features conceal an iron will. What was supposed to be a fresh start for Laurel Plummer turns to tragedy. It's going into another paragraph here. Left destitute but determined to dictate her own future, Laurel plunges into the lucrative regional industry, much to the dislike of the good old boys who have ruled supreme. Her success quickly makes her a target for cutthroat competitors whose only code of law is reprisal. As violence erupts, Laurel and now Deputy Thatcher find themselves on opposite sides of a moonshine war, where blood flows as freely as whiskey.
Blooms.
And passion blooms.
Sure.
And closing time. I don't know. I'm just using any type of analogy to bars and drinking.
I'm sure I bet that's a good read.
So, Blind Tiger. I've started it.
I don't know where the
not
title
too far
comes
into
from.
I think we'll figure... You know what? I bet you it's the name of a certain type of moonshine. It's probably called Blind Tiger because it makes you go blind. All right, so this book... Oh, honey, I'm really excited for this, and I couldn't... This is why I couldn't say no to this one either.
Oh, honey.
Listen, you're going to love it.
This is just like 45 minutes of rationalization.
Please
It
continue. All right, well, this was longlisted for Women's Prize Fiction. Women's Prize for Fiction 2021. And this is a book... I think this is... this copy is only from overseas. This is a UK edition. This is called Small Pleasures by Claire Chambers. It's a word-of-mouth hit, okay? It's gotten blurbed everywhere, okay? And, all right, so let me just read this to you. 1957, the suburbs of southeast London. Jean Swinney is a journalist on a local paper trapped in a life of duty and disappointment from which there is no likelihood of escape. When a young woman, Gretchen Tilbury, contacts the paper to claim that her daughter is the result of a virgin birth, it is down to Jean to discover whether she is a miracle or a fraud. As the investigation turns her quiet life inside out, Jean is suddenly given an unexpected chance at friendship, love, and possibly happiness.
With whom?
But there will inevitably be a price to pay. Yeah, with whom? I think I might know.
Shades of Agnes of God there, too.
Shades of Agnes of God. Good call on that, honey. Yeah. So...
Love blooms.
Love blooms. And oranges are not the only fruit. Because it's got the oranges on the front.
That's very clever.
I was right there, right in front of my face. All right, so I picked up Small Pleasures. Okay, this is an advanced reader's copy. And for fans of, like, horror or thriller horror, rural juror horror, Vital Rival. This book comes out, I think it comes out October 5th. So it's called Reprieve by James Han Matson. Okay? Now let me just read this to you. Okay. A chilling and blisteringly relevant literary novel of social horror centered around a brutal killing that takes place in a full-contact haunted escape room. A provocative exploration of capitalism.
God.
A provocative exploration of capitalism, hate politics, racial fetishism. What? What is that? And our obsession with fear as entertainment. Okay, well, on April 27th, 1997, 4 contestants make it to the final cell of the Quigley House, a full-contact haunted escape room in Lincoln, Nebraska. Oof. Made famous for its monstrosities, booby traps, and ghoulishly costumed actors. If the group can endure these horrors without shouting the safe word, reprieve, that's the safe word, they'll win a substantial cash prize. A startling feat accomplished only by one other group in the house's long history. But before they can complete the challenge, a man breaks into the cell and kills one of the contestants.
That's so going to be adapted for...
That's going to be a movie. I mean, this is the perfect movie script right here. Okay. Or a movie premise. Those who were present on that fateful night lend their point of view. Kendra Brown, a teenager who's been uprooted from her childhood home after the sudden loss of her father. Leonard Granton, a desperate and impressionable hotel manager caught in a series of toxic entanglements. And J.D. Cheroensuk, I can't pronounce that last name, Cheroensuk, a gay international student who came to the United States in a besotted search for his former English teacher. As each character's journey unfurls and overlaps, deceit and misunderstandings, fueled by obsession and prejudice, are revealed, forcing all to reckon with the ways in which their beliefs and actions contributed to a horrifying catastrophe. An astonishingly soulful exploration of complicity and masquerade. Reprieve combines the psychological tension of classic horror with searing social criticism to present an unsettling portrait of this tangled American life. And there you have it. I was intrigued from the moment I read the synopsis, and I was hoping I would win this, not win, but, you know, I pick out several that I would like and hope that I might get them. And I got this one, so I feel like I got to do it. Let me read this to you. This next book is probably out right now, I think. No, it's not. This comes out October 12th. Also had a wonderful premise, and I just love the cover as well, but the premise was really interesting. But This is called Shoal Water, a novel by Kip Robinson Greenthal. Winner of the Landmark Prize for Fiction. Look at that cover. See the seal?
Yeah, I saw.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So this is what we're looking at here. Let me read this. Oh, this book was actually written in the 90s. It says here, let's see, this is a haunting, lyrical, and startling debut novel set in a close-knit Nova Scotian fishing village. In these treacherous currents, selkies, and a drowned villager's ghost greet a young American woman, Kate, as she escapes New York City life, disillusioned by the Vietnam War and her troubled past. Through an unexpected love triangle, a family disaster at sea, Kate searches for home. There's a couple of typos. There's a period where there needs to be a comma. Okay. Shoal Water is a revelation of the changeling characters of sea itself, a poignant reminder that survival is not ever as predictable as the tides. Well, this edition is coming out on October 12th, but it says here that the publicist became aware of it in the mid-90s, and then the book took a hiatus until fairly recently when the author, Kip Greenthal, was encouraged to enter it into the Homebound Publications 2020 Landmark Prize for Fiction, with the prize being a published book. And obviously she won, so congratulations! I'll try to read another blurb here for you to see if it gives you a little bit more. A beautiful love story set on the margins, on calm waters above dangerous reefs, in the mists between sea and sky, and in the confounding spaces between men and women, youth and age, urban and rural,
Yeah.
myth and memory. Greenthal's prose is as ageless as the landscape she describes, capturing perfectly the rhythms and voices of Nova Scotia. Okay, so this also sounds delightful. So I'll also be reviewing, this is a series of, William Kent Kruger has written a series of mysteries, but this is supposed to be a prequel that introduces his very popular character, Cork O'Connor. Now I only signed up for this because I've been intrigued by William Kent Kruger and I want to get into his series, but I can't just jump in on book 17.
Sure you
And
can.
so, I didn't want to, and I like to read things in order. And the editor said, you know what, this is a prequel, so this might be a great way for us to introduce this series to our readership.
Oh.
And I said, and it'll be a great start for me. I'd be interested in reading these. But this is called Lightning Strike, a novel. And this comes out.
And it's not Brad Thor.
It's not Brad Thor. This comes out in a few days, actually. This goes on sale August 24th, but it will be in our BookBrowse review next month. So it says here, the author of the instant New York Times bestseller, This Tender Land, returns with a powerful prequel to his acclaimed Cork O'Connor series, a book about fathers and sons, long simmering
Cork O'Connor?
Cork O'Connor, a book about fathers and sons, long simmering conflicts in a small Minnesota town, and the events that echo through youth and shape our lives forever.
Why can't they just have regular names?
Okay, so anyway, this is a prequel. We are running low on time. I'm looking forward to this, and I'll be doing a write-up at the end of next month, or September 21st. Another book that's coming out, I think, or...
Don't rush yourself.
Okay. Okay, this book is coming out September 21st. This one was coming out August 24th. I'm also reviewing this for BookBrowse Review. I will link, as always, BookBrowse below, and when my reviews are published, I will share them with you all in the next, most recent video. I'll let you know what's available and link them below if you're interested in reading what I'm writing about these books. I was really intrigued by the premise of this book, and that's why I normally only volunteer for one book per 2 months or a quarter per BookBrowse, but I said, could I do 2? Again, I don't know why I asked this of myself. Because I wanted to read this. I know there's good stuff coming out, you guys, and I wanted to make you aware. Now, a lot of these are fiction, but I hope you find these of interest to you. This is called Lean Falls Stand. Okay, it's by John McGregor. And look at that nice, wonderful blurb from Hilary Mantel, who, of course, is the writer of the Wolf Hall series. She said a beautiful piece of work. Now, this is being put out by Catapult Press. I should have said, I don't know if I've been naming the... I'm so bad about this, you guys. I'm sorry. Great, so let me just read this to you. Robert Doc Wright. His nickname is Doc Wright. A veteran of Antarctic surveying. As soon as I read that, I'm like, I gotta read it. I love books about Antarctica or the Arctic and things set there. I just have to read it. Okay. He's a veteran of Antarctic surveying. Okay. Was there on the ice.
Antarctic surveying?
No, not Antarctic. I need to eat. Robert Doc Wright, a veteran of Antarctic surveying, was there on the ice when the worst happened. He holds within him the complete story of that night. But depleted by the disaster, Wright is no longer able to communicate the truth. Instead, in the wake of the catastrophic expedition, he faces the most daunting adventure of his life, learning a whole new way to be in the world. Meanwhile, Anna, his wife, must suddenly scramble to navigate the sharp and unexpected contours of life as a caregiver. From the Booker Prize long-listed American Academy of Arts and Letters award-winning author of
My God.
Reservoir 13, this is a novel every bit as mesmerizing as its setting. I sound like I'm drunk. Tenderly unraveling different notions of heroism through the rippling effects of one extraordinary expedition on an ordinary family, Lean Fall Stand explores the indomitable human impulse to turn our experiences into stories, even when words may fail us. Oh, I wonder if he loses his ability to speak or something.
Yeah, that's what they basically say.
Oh, yep, I just turned to something and I saw that is... Okay, I'm not going to say anything else. Lean Fall Stand. Set in Antarctic, and I think this must be like shattering ice. That's really cool. That's a really good cover then. All right, so... You guys, this was probably a really long video, and I'm going to put Martine to work cleaning this up. But there's a lot of great books coming out, so I wanted to show you these books. Let me know what you think, what is most exciting to you. All right. Thanks, Martine, for joining.
Yeah.
Say goodbye to our people.
Goodbye to our people.
And until next time, BookTube, have fun out there and be safe. Bye.
See ya.